welcome to the GNN Evening Show, where we bring you the unbiased truth. We have a 10-minute special on the Berlin Wall. First off, we have Samantha Chang explaining the difference between the East and the West.
Welcome to the GNN Mid-Afternoon News. I'm Samantha Chang, here to inform our avid viewers about the difference between East and West Germany. East and West Germany have striking differences, almost as different as Coco Chanel and Maybelline. These are obvious to the point that they seem as though they are separate countries, founded on extremely different values. West Germany is currently enjoying economic success and basking in the help of the United States. Our beloved President Ronald Reagan has famously said, "Ich bin ein Berliner," which means I am a Berliner, which has thus helped uniting the United States and West Germany. However, in the East, people are suffering under the Soviet regime. The tyrannical methods of communism have not only been inflicted upon the innocent minds of young democratic children, but also pressed upon the entire society. Luckily, the United States has magnanimously been sending aid through our technologically advanced aircrafts. Our viewers may be severely worried for the East Berliners, as the empathetic Americans they are. But we urge them to stay in their seats as the United States government is spreading proper democratic values as we speak.
Thank you, Sam, for the brilliant explanation.
You're welcome! Now let's go to Vivian for the airlift plan.
Calculation indicated that the population of East Germany would need 1,700 calories per person per day, which leads to a grand total of 646 tons of flour and wheat, 125 tons of cereal, 64 tons of fat, 109 tons of meat and fish, 180 tons of dehydrated potatoes, 180 tons of sugar, 11 tons of coffee, 19 tons of powdered milk, 5 tons of whole milk for children, 3 tons of fresh yeast for baking, 144 tons of dehydrated vegetable, and 38 tons of salt and 10 tons of cheese. In total, 1,534 tons were needed to keep the 2 million people alive. Additionally, cities needed to be kept powered and heated, which would require another 3,475 tons of coal and gasoline. The post-war demobilization left the U.S. force in Europe with only 2 squadrons of C-47 Skytrain aircraft, which could only carry about 3.5 tons of cargo. Aircraft were scheduled to take off every 4 minutes, flying 1,000 feet higher than the flight in the front. This pattern began at 5,000 feet and was repeated 5 times. The massive effort to supply the 2 million West Berliners with food and fuel for heating began in June 1948.
Thank you, Vivian.
To Vivian again for the latest intel on the current airlift situation.
Currently, LeMay has appointed the headquarters Commandant General Smith as the provincial task force commandant of the airlift. Clay has already arranged for the maximum airlift to start on Monday, June 28th using the C-27s. He has given orders to launch the Operation Vitals. 32 C-47s are going to lift off for us, having 80 tons of cargo, including milk, flour, and medicines, which is estimated for us to last 3 months. However, the goal for the future is to send out 1,534 tons daily to keep the 2 million people alive. In order for accomplishing this, they will need to be given approximately 50 additional transport planes to arrive in Germany. But the number which they can make is not yet known, and General Robertson is doubtful of their ability to make this number available.
Thanks again, Vivian, for the brilliant brief on our current situation.
Let's go to our exclusive GNN interview with a local person in West Germany.
Okay, now let's go see what the local people feel about the Berlin Wall. Excuse me. Hi. Hi. What is your opinion on the Berlin Wall?
I feel like the Berlin Wall separates a lot of people and families. Like, I know a person whose brother was separated from him because of Berlin Wall.
Oh, what do you think it feels like to be on the other side of the wall?
I don't know, because look at the wall, it's so tall and I obviously can't see through it.
Do you wish that Germany could ever become one again?
I would wish so, but I'm not exactly sure if that's possible because considering the current circumstances, I don't really think that's possible.
Okay, thank you, and now let's go back to our program.
Once again, thank you, Vivian, for the brilliant interview. To our commercial break. Battling those winterly chapped lips like East Berlin and West Berlin?
Yes!
Can all be solved with a simple swipe of Moore's Lip Delight Lip Balm. A swipe of this and you instantly go from drab to fat.
Oh my god, Moore's lip balm? This totally helps! Where can I buy these?
Available at any drugstore retailers near you. Available in flavors of rosebud and vanilla.
If you call now, we'll throw in a free Tiffany charm bracelet.
Worth 100 times the price you paid for.
Now let's go back to our original program.
Whoa! Now let's go to an even more exclusive interview seen only on GNN of Harry Truman himself.
Hello America, today I'm with Harry Truman. Hi.
Hello.
So do you have any opinion on the Berlin Wall?
The Berlin Wall is certainly a hindrance to democratic society.
What is your view on the Cold War?
The Cold War is different than any war we've experienced before. It's one of mental strength, not of arms. But I'm most certain that the United States will win, regardless.
I wish that Germany could be one again.
I certainly wish that Germany could be one under the democratic rule.
Wartime president, do you have any words of advice for Ronald Reagan?
Well, the war I fought with the Soviets as my allies was completely different than the one we have now. However, as a wartime president to another, I would like to say that to constantly remain vigilant as the United States will surely win this war.
Do you have any idea how life on the east side of Germany is?
I certainly know that it is horrible with those Soviets in control, and we must help the people there.
Think about the arms race that is currently going on between Soviet Union and the United States.
Well, I can't speak for those dirty Soviets, but for the United States, this is about defense, not attack. We are people of honor and of constant, rugged individualism.
Think about the concept of mutually assured destruction, otherwise known as MAD.
Well, the thing is, the Soviets would have attacked us first, and we have no choice but to assure that they're destroyed.
Your time, Mr. Truman, and I hope you have a nice day.
It's been my pleasure. The people of the United States are my first priority, and protecting them against those dirty, backstabbing Soviets.
There you have it, folks. Now let's get back to our program.
Vivian for the wall structure.
Here's a miniature version of the Berlin Wall. So as you can see, the Berlin Wall is far more complex than just a concrete slab that separates East Germany from West Germany. In fact, immediately behind the walls of East Germany, which is this wall, is a signal fence. Touch it and a silent alarm is sent to the watchtower, which is this one, and this watchtower watches over the entire wall. And it only takes a few seconds before the patrolling guards realize where you are. Even if the guards do not shoot, and an automatic gun that is situated every 100 meters on the signal fence, which is this, will automatically shoot you. And after the signal fence comes the tank traps, which are these four. This is to prevent a large vehicle from breaking through the wall. After the tank traps is a mat of steel spikes, which is here. This is 14 feet wide. And it will injure and damage anybody who comes through this mat. And after the steel spikes come the control strip, also known as the K2. The control strip is an area where there is only bare sand. This makes footprints easily visible. And after the control strip comes the light tower, which is situated in the middle of the Berlin Wall. 302 watchtowers are situated throughout the Berlin Wall. And after the watchtower comes the column tracks, which are places where soldiers patrol and where vehicles come and go. And these two are the column tracks. This only authorized soldiers and vehicles are allowed to pass through this part. And after the column track comes another control strip, which is known as the K6. And in the K6, dogs dogs are often patrolling this area. After the control strip comes this deep trench, which is known as the anti-vehicle trench. This serves as the last resort trap to prevent a large vehicle invasion through the wall. And last but not least comes the famous Berlin Wall, which is 12 feet high, which is the last obstacle that blocks East Germany from West. It is no wonder that this area is commonly known as the Death Strip, as no one so far has successfully broken through the barrier.
Thanks, Vivian.
Not least, we have Samantha Chang and Vivian analyzing the Berlin Wall. Architectural specialist Yvonne Von Lon, who graduated from the University of California, Berkeley.
Hello.
I'll be here to ask you a few questions.
Oh, that's fine. That's awesome, actually. Great.
Okay, so how did both sides, meaning the Soviet Union and the United States, react to the building of the Berlin Wall?
Well, the West in general built itself into an economic powerhouse, whereas the situation in the East, it was definitely dismal and the economy remained static. Several East Berliners who had gone to do jobs just for a few days were totally stranded. Yeah, stranded in West Berlin because they weren't able to get back to their families. For example, there was Rudolf Brand. He was separated from his family when the wall was constructed, and in his case, when he returned, there were very drastic changes, such as his mother and uncle had both passed away, and his wife had divorced him to remarry.
You know what? In one of our interviews with a local person, they also mentioned this as well.
Really?
One person was separated from his brother because of this.
This is definitely a common incident. It was not uncommon.
What effect did this event have on Germany?
Well, Berliners were unable to progress with the modern world. The wall enabled a Soviet occupation on the eastern side of the wall, and it interfered with commerce. The wall allowed the Soviets to gain influence over East Berlin. And the Western powers, they increased their hold, respectively, over the West.
So you're saying that the two cultures were starting to grow apart?
Definitely. It was almost as if they were raised on different values and in different countries.
Okay, I see. More specific on the effect it had overall on the whole country?
Well, if you're asking as to whether it was negative or positive, as a historian, I certainly have to say it's a matter of perspective. It's our job to look from all points of view. And to the citizens of East Berlin, they had no hope of achieving a better life. And this was definitely not a good thing to them. It was negative. It was detrimental, in fact. However, to the people in the Soviet, they saw this as an opportunity they could grasp in order to take hold of the Eastern Germany. And for the West, I think some people may say that it was good and others may say that it was bad. In general, to the public, the government would portray this as bad, but I'm sure some were secretly glad that West Berliners were under their influence and hold.
Okay, so you're saying that everything really depends on the perspective and how you look at it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, isn't that what history all boils down to at one point?
Then how do you think this impacts the relationship between the United States and the Soviet Union?
Well, with the Cold War already at hand, and with the Iron Curtain drawn, this wall is just like another one of those in a smaller, almost microcosm of the entire Soviet Union and United States Cold War. It's a symbol of segregation and tension between the United States and the Soviet Union, and it certainly does not make anything better if you're looking at it from an impartial point of view.
So you're saying that it really didn't have any effect on it, negative or positive?
Well, it did have an effect, that's the thing. But the problem is the war was already escalated to such tensions that I'm not sure that the Berlin Wall in particular affected it so much as it was a symbol.
Oh, so you're saying that the Berlin Wall did affect it as a symbol, but not as an overall effect to the war.
Yes, it's more as if a gun is a symbol in a war, is it not? But one gun does not make much of a difference in an entire blown up war.
Oh, I see now. Thank you for coming today.
No problem.
Okay, now that concludes our 10-minute special of the Berlin Wall.
Bye.